Good YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman has a stern message for undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence "Bud" Crawford, who is 38 wins, no losses, no draws, 29 big wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, Keith Thurman, 29 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'7.5" with a 69-inch arm reach. Keith Thurman has been out the ring since July of 2019, going on two plus years, 2.5 years since he's been in the ring. He'll face former WBA junior welterweight Mexican star boxer world champion Mario Barrios February 5th. And Mario Barrios 26 wins, 1 loss, no draws. With that said, Keith Thurman, he weighs in on Terence Crawford's last fight and his last performance against a rival of Keith Thurman's and former 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter, in which Terence Crawford did something that no other fighter has done against Shawn Porter, and he stopped Shawn Porter. Okay, Errol Spence dropped Shawn Porter in the 11th round of their fight. Adrian Broner dropped Shawn Porter. Keith Thurman hurt Shawn Porter. But Shawn Porter is always in a very tough, very close fight. Well, Shawn Porter's father, trainer, and manager Kenny Porter in the 10th round of his fight with Terence Crawford dropped him twice, and he saw enough and waved the white towel. With that said, Keith Thurman, he feels like that fight gave him more confidence that he could beat Terence Crawford, and he stated that Terence Crawford is not a monster. He's not a boogeyman, and he's shown a lot of flaws in that fight. And he says, if anything, nobody's avoiding Terence Crawford. It just makes me more confident that I could beat Terence Crawford. He stated that he was missing. He was inaccurate. He was trying to counter all night. He wasn't sticking to his game plan. He was whiffing on his punches. He stated that in the second half, he slowed down, which made him accurate. And he stated that, which gave me the reason, being Keith Thurman, to think that he's going to take over in the second half of the fight against Shawn Porter. But he said that he showed a lot of flaws. And he hears a lot of people, including ESPN Teleclass, claiming that everybody's going to move up to junior middleweight 154 to avoid fighting Terence Crawford. He said that's anything but the truth. Because if anything, we all going to go towards Terence Crawford because we saw a different view in that fight. And we saw Terence Crawford show some flaws and vulnerabilities that we all feel like we could capitalize on. So he stated that he looks forward to facing Terence Crawford in July. He stated that he can't make anybody fight him, but he would love to fight Terence Crawford in July. He stated that he's looking to get back in the ring and put on a great performance against Mario Barrios in February. And then he wants to get the fight with Terence Crawford in July. If not, he wants the winner of undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is also widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Earl the True Spence Jr., who is 27 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 big wins by way of knockout. Errol Spence is 31 years of age, 5'9.5", with a 72-inch arm reach. Well, with that said, Errol Spence has a fight coming up. Looks like it's going to possibly be in that late February, early March, maybe middle of March unification showdown with Cuban star boxer, who's the WBA reigning welterweight champion, that being Yordenis Ugas, 27 wins, 4 losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. So they haven't set and confirmed the actual date. But with that said, we know that fight is definitely going to come to fruition. So it seems like they're looking for a venue and they're looking to secure a date. So Keith Thurman, he stated that those are fights that he wants. He wants the winner of that fight, and he wants Terence Crawford. Okay. Now, obviously, the fight that the boxing world and the fans want to see is Terence "Bud" Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. That makes for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing that everybody's interested in looking forward to seeing. And so with that said, Keith Thurman, he attested to that. He stated that, if they fight each other, they fight each other. There's nothing that he can do about that. So with that said, Keith Thurman, he stated that, but he definitely wants the winner of that fight if he can't get the Terence Crawford fight. But his number one objective is to secure the fight against Terence Crawford. Now, he stated that, he saw a lot of flaws in Terence Crawford. He stated that he saw Terence Crawford, fight a guy in Shawn Porter who wasn't in the greatest shape. Okay, he said that not just because he fought Shawn Porter and beat Shawn Porter, but he said Shawn Porter was in better shape and was better prepared in his fight against Keith Thurman. And then he said Shawn Porter was even better, in even better shape when he fought against Errol Spence. That was the best version of Shawn Porter. He stated not even the version of Shawn Porter that fought Ugas and Danny Garcia or myself. He said that he believes the best version of Shawn Porter was the version that put out against Errol Spence. And then the second version of Shawn Porter was the one that he fought. And then he said, obviously you have the Ugas and Danny Garcia fights, but he said that Shawn Porter definitely wasn't in the best shape. And Shawn Porter attested to that. Shawn Porter, he stated that, his father, Kenny Porter was father, trainer, and manager. He, was pushing him, and Shawn Porter, he simply stated that, he wasn't, he wasn't going with, he was going against the grain, right? He said that for the first time in his career, he was telling his father no. So he simply stated that he was going against the grain, and he just wasn't committed to the condition part. He stated that he was telling his father that he wanted to save something for the fight. So Shawn Porter, he admitted that he didn't not to take anything away from Terence Crawford, but he admitted that he just simply wasn't in the best shape of his career. Now, obviously, a lot of people they're going to they're going to say, well, Shawn Porter is taking something away from the Terence Crawford performance, okay? And many people are going to look at it and say, well, Shawn Porter, is making up excuses, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Shawn Porter, is, a great fighter, and Shawn Porter is always prepared. He's always in great shape. Shawn Porter is always, exciting. He's always bringing it every second of every minute of every round. He presses opponents physically and mentally. So I thought it was a great performance by Terence Crawford. I personally thought that, you could go back and look at my videos. I predicted this. I said that the uppercut and the short check hook on the inside of Terence Crawford, ability to fight from orthodox and southpaw, extremely long arms, but that left uppercut and the left hook on the inside is what gets Shawn Porter all the time. You could look at my interview with Shawn Porter when I asked Shawn Porter, what about, what adjustments you make, because when you was hurt against Keith Thurman, it was the short choppy hook on the inside. When you was hurt by Errol Spence, it was the short choppy hook on the inside. When he was hurt, when he was dropped by Adrian Broner, it was a leaping short choppy hook that got him. Okay. So Danny Garcia buzzed Shawn Porter, short choppy hooks on the inside. I feel like that's Terence Crawford's absolute specialty. I think that that's his, go-to. I think that that's his ace in the hole. And so I asked Shawn Porter that. You could look at the interview, and Shawn Porter, he said that was definitely a focus of his, because he understands that that's an issue that he has and a flaw that he has. And Keith Thurman, he stated that he knew the left uppercut or left hook on the inside was going to be the problem for Shawn Porter and get Shawn Porter. And ultimately, that's what got the party started. So Keith Thurman, is saying that he's looking to put on an absolute dazzling performance, remind everybody just how good Keith Thurman is, and, and then look to go to fight Terence Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford, he's an inch taller than Keith Thurman, but he has a 5-inch arm reach advantage over Keith Thurman. Terence Crawford is just as good as a boxer as Keith Thurman. Now, Keith Thurman believes his timing is better. He said that it took Terence Crawford to slow down. So meaning that Keith Thurman's want to pick up the pace against Terence Crawford. Keith Thurman's showing a vulnerability to the body. When you go to Keith Thurman's body, He was hurt badly to the body by, Manny Pacquiao. He was dropped by the left hand of Manny Pacquiao. He was hurt bad to the body. Josito Lopez badly hurt Keith Thurman. Luis Collazo, we know, hurt Keith Thurman to the body very badly. But Terence Crawford is not a big body puncher, okay? Terence Crawford is an accumulation puncher. He'll switch levels. It's not that he focuses on one area. So whatever is working, whatever you present, whatever you give Terence Crawford, he's going to take. And he's going to press the fight. Now, Terence Crawford, he does get a little looping. Like Keith Thurman said, he was whiffing on his punches. He wasn't accurate. He's not the most accurate fighter. But that's because Terence Crawford is looking to get you out of there, right? So I think that Keith Thurman would give Terence Crawford problems. But I think ultimately Terence Crawford, he would stop Keith Thurman, right? I think that he'll find a way to get to Keith Thurman's body. I think he's more rangy. I think he's just as quick as Keith Thurman. I think that, Terence Crawford, their power is about the same. It's just the delivery of Terence Crawford, opposed to Keith Thurman fighting on the back foot and mixing it up and exchanging. So it'll definitely be an interesting fight, but I'm favoring Terence Crawford. Keith Thurman feels like he sees a lot of vulnerabilities that he can expose in Terence Crawford, which makes it very, very interesting. So I can't wait to see. Most people expect this to happen in July. Keith Thurman says he's looking forward to it in July. So let's see how this unfolds. We know Terence Crawford, he said he would love to fight Keith Thurman. At one point in time, Keith Thurman was his number one objective. He said to beat a man, you got to beat the man. He always felt like Keith Thurman was the man. Keith Thurman only lost to legendary 8th Division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pacquiao. That's nothing to sneeze at. And it was a split decision win for Manny Pacquiao, although he badly hurt Keith Thurman in the 10th round and dropped Keith Thurman in the first round. And he still only got a split decision. So that's a testament to Keith Thurman and his skill set. The problem with Keith Thurman is out of sight, out of mind, lack of activity, inactivity, ring rust. That's why he's looking to get this tune-up fight against a guy who's rangy and tall, which an indication he's nothing like Terence Crawford, but he's rangy, he's tall, and Mario Barrios, which could be, practice for Keith Thurman. No slight to Mario Barrios, but Terence Crawford, he stated that he would love to fight Keith Thurman. He just didn't understand why we got to wait 8 months. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jaden Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.